What up, world? Waxvillain, Seattle, Washington. You already know what it is. Welcome to 2 Gents Fireside Chat. We got greatness in the building. The Escapers are coming through. Johnny Ruiz, Colt Hendrickson, Kevin Montano. Keep it locked. We'll kick things off when they join. Appreciate everybody on the line. I see ya. SK Brandon in the building. Johnny Ruiz in the house. My man.
What's up, brother? Waxvillain, what's up, man?
My brother, I see you fresh off work. I appreciate you.
Yeah, I got zoomed here, man. I'm glad I made it in time.
let me get Colt real quick, all right?
Yeah. Kevin was going to be here, but he's showering. He has to go somewhere for work, I think.
Okay, all good. I'm always ready.
What up, man?
Hi, Colt.
What's up,
going
Johnny?
on, brother?
Oh, dude.
Super psyched to have you guys.
Should I put my headphones in, too?
I can hear you crystal clear, but if you want to rock the headphones.
Nah, I'm rocking the beanie, though.
I love that. I love that. If you guys are ready, I'll go ahead and kick things off. We got 10 on the line.
Yeah, man.
Very cool. I want to welcome everybody to 2 Gents Fireside Chat. Fireside Chats are similar to interviews, however, they're slightly different. We take the time to do the research because we don't want to duplicate efforts, but more importantly, we want to support and strengthen other interviews and existing articles out there. Got about maybe 8-9 questions plus the lightning round. Super excited about this. When I think about 2020, I think about a lot of doom and gloom. We were navigating the pandemic, protests, people getting sick, this and that. We can't go to shows, we can't go to record stores. But one of the highlights that year was being introduced to 7 individuals that went by the name of the Escapers. I remember hearing their music for the first time, and I said, oh, this is really cool. Kind of soul, kind of rock steady. I like the reggae vibes. And then there was the debut release that sold out in sub 20 minutes. There was a fantastic music video that came out, and we saw virtual performances in really cool places in Vegas, as well as live shows. You all went on to partner with one of our favorite brothers on the scene, Mr. Joey Quiones, who handles the production. I thought it would be fantastic to bring you guys in, not for an introduction, but for a follow-up to see how things are going a year plus into the making. I'm super excited to have both you guys. Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah,
Welcome,
dude, thank
Johnny
you.
Colt.
Thanks for all you do.
Thanks for having us, brother.
Appreciate y'all. Yeah, no problem. It's so funny because I remember when I first connected with y'all and I was writing you in the DMs, I was just like a little bird shit on the street. It's a little different now, and I'm just so happy to be able to sit down and talk with you guys. This is a really cool thing. Most importantly, I love doing this because we get to share it with all of our friends, give them new connection points and insights, status on what you're doing and everything like that. We'll go ahead and start off with the questions. So it's the 10th month of 2021, and looking back, it's a year and a half plus since you made your debut. Mm-hmm. I'd love to know, what are the achievements that you're most proud of? What are some of the changes you went through? Just kind of milestone moments, and how is life different for you now?
I mean, you can take it.
You
Want me to take
first,
it?
Colt, or? Yeah, go ahead.
I think first and foremost is just putting out a record, getting something out there, something in the archive. Everybody's supporting. It's a trip like that. It's already been a year and a half. The record's selling out quick. Like, I remember sitting down during Shame on Love and like wanting to buy a color record for my pops, and we thought the site crashed because everybody bought them out so quick. But just the band growing too, man. Like, we've grown our horn section. Joey playing keys with us. It's a trip. It's a trip that it's been a year and a half, and just being accepted. We're kind of doing a little piece of everything that everybody likes: rock steady, doo-wop, soul. And we just can't thank everybody enough for the support.
Very cool. How about you, Johnny?
Yeah, it's been wild, man. Like, I mean, I think back to when we first wrote Stay, dude. It was really nuts, really bizarre. I wrote it at work and I didn't really think much of it. I was like, I
Okay.
got a cool song, and I think it was Colton. I think it was Colton was like, dude, that's a hit, man. Like that's gonna be a hit. And I'm like, yeah, man, I like it. You know what I mean? I like it. And then we started um the first time the first version of it was when our band was very new. And we were actually just like we didn't really know what we wanted to do, but we jammed out reggae. I'm from Hawaii, so I had like my ukulele on stage and stuff. And then
Oh wow.
yeah, the song just slowly started transforming. Then we played the soul show. That's when we actually brought in the soul version of it. We
Mm,
all listen to soul and stuff, and we haven't played any soul music at all. And that was kind of the song that got us going onto soul and rocksteady. Actually, that was the first rocksteady song because it transformed again into a rocksteady song. And it's just nuts, dude. It's to this day it blows me away. Like I met so much people just within this year, so much amazing people, musicians, fans. There's some people that are in this room that I talk to every day.
wow.
I talk to every day. It's like I made a lot of friends, a lot of cool, really cool friends, and a lot of music family. It's been a wild ride, man, in the best way.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
been very interesting.
One of the things that I think is really cool is you're able to take a song and you can transpose it into a completely different genre, and it sounds great. My biggest problem is I'm always trying to figure out which side I like better, A or B.
Yeah,
So I just killed it and said it's a double A sider. I mean,
yeah,
that's kind of
nice.
what you got to do because it's that good, and I really enjoy that. You kind of mentioned that you were new, and I'd kind of love to ask Colt, from your viewpoint now, what were some of the challenges looking back that you faced as a group, kind of starting to get the momentum going?
This just started. It sounds cliche, but it just started as a fun thing in the park, screwing around. We didn't really have a spot to jam,
Drinking
and
40.
now I think we're all becoming more musical, a little more disciplined. Like there's our trumpet player is a mariachi teacher, and our guitar player is really, he knows a lot of theory, but the rest of us, we're still learning daily. I mean, we can write music, we can play by ear, but I think we're speaking more of a music language, which is something we're growing into that I like. We got a whiteboard out now, and we're writing out measures and choruses and verse and bridge, speaking that language instead of just
Wow.
freestyle, just like trying to talk out sounds.
Yeah. I've seen a couple interviews and I've seen you guys as a band together, and you look like you're brothers, like you've been hanging out, for many, many years. Does that kind of factor into the chemistry there and kind of that idea of as we evolve, we're doing it together versus maybe
I would
one or two
definitely
people
say,
kind of pulling?
right, Johnny?
Yeah, absolutely, man. Like we've been through. I always say this. Like we could make a movie out of just all of our band members. Just let alone everyone's life is wild, but
Mm-hmm.
just together as friends, we've been through some really wild stuff. And I think definitely brothers because these guys have been there for me when I was like at my very, very, very lowest, like the lowest of the lowest. And then I link up with these guys and we jam and then end up coming out with some song, like Shame on Love or something, or Am I a Fool, for example, is one my favorite song that we wrote. But yeah, definitely a brotherhood for
It's got
sure.
a,
I definitely
it's
wouldn't
got
call
its
these
ups
guys my
and downs.
friends.
We
I love
definitely
that.
want to bust each other's heads, but then we can turn around, then we can turn around and make
Like
some great
brothers.
music and just realize,
Yeah.
like, I mean, there's something to be said when you can tell your boy "fuck you"
Let it
and
all go.
then continue and keep making good music
And then at the end
Yeah.
of that, we're
That's a
just
in
like
a
tough one to
hugging
loving
get
it
way.
out.
In a loving.
um,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. Now, Johnny, I've seen in other interviews, earlier on in life, it was hip hop that was something you gravitated towards. I
Hmm.
think it was your dad that made a ukulele. You were
Yeah.
front and center with lead vocals. I'd love to hear from you what your evolution has been like as a singer and how you've managed to kind of still keep it the escaper sound and everybody kind of moving together with you.
Right. Right. Well, it was insane because like even before our band, like I would sing karaoke with high school friends, and like when I was producing music, I was drinking a lot at a pretty young age. So I would you know, make these beats by myself and start drinking and trying to sing and act. But dude, that sounded terrible, really, really,
Okay.
really bad. And then I met these guys, and then being a lead singer kind of drifted in, man, with these guys, you know, because Colton's one of them too. Like they really good at pushing, not in a bad way, but they're real inspiring. Like, dude, you can do this shit, man. Like our first show, I was scared. I was like, you know, we got this. And then we start setting up our instruments and see everyone in the stage. And I was like on stage shaking. And I'm like, oh,
Wow.
dude, like we're about to start in 2 minutes. I'm terrified. Like, I don't think I remember my lyrics. And we ended up killing it, actually. It was really nuts. But yeah, even as a singer, I feel like it's not something I feel like I'll ever master. Like, I'm always learning things every day. Like today, I feel like I learned some new stuff. I sing in the car, in the shower. I sing at work. You know, it's funny, but yeah, it's crazy because I definitely feel a lot of evolving vocally. But even as a band, it's weird, man, because I watch our very old stuff on YouTube, our very first shows when we first started playing, and then I watch our new stuff, and it just seems like two complete different bands. It's insane. It's like we kind of all gravitated to evolve together. You know, we all kind of helped each other for that reason, as far as like moving forward musically. You know, like I feel like we all kind of did it as a group. And even Colton, man, like when I met Colton, he wasn't a singer. This dude's singing with me now. Like now we're learning songs where we're both singing, which is pretty cool. So that's actually a pretty big surprise for the our next few shows coming up. But yeah, man, it's definitely an evolving path for sure. And I think it's just going to continue to evolve, you know. We're always going to learn stuff on the way. Like Colton said, we're learning, you know, trying to read music more. I don't read music, so I'm trying to teach myself theory. But lucky for Daniel, he's a teacher, so he helps us out a lot with that.
That's super cool, and that's a big help. I need to ask, what was it that got you over the hump of kind of that stage fright for the first show, and what are you thinking now when you get on stage? You know, again, what are you going through mentally?
I think you know, it's crazy, man. What got me over that hump was that same exact night, like after our first song, after our maybe I don't know, maybe our first few songs, because I think our first song was just an instrumental song, right? Colton, we opened up, and after our first song, I want to say vocally was like "Your House" by Steel Pulse. Everyone was quiet on the stage, and I'm like, damn, I can see everyone's reaction. Like they don't like us. Like, damn, it sound like shit. And then when the song was done, everyone just went nuts. And so after that feeling, I was like, oh, dude, I dig this, man. I could definitely I just want to entertain people, you know? So now when I go on stage, I don't get really nervous as far as like, I feel like I could sing in front of 10,000 people and be fine. I get more nervous of like kind of going back to evolving, putting on more of a show, like stage presence. You know, I used to go on
Yeah.
the stage and just sing, like I need to sing good, I need to sound good. But now it's like, I like to get the crowd involved. You know, I'm trying to learn new dance moves, you know, do a little dancing and stuff and get this side of the crowd to sing, get this side of the crowd and just try to make it more of like a show, you know, like you, however much money you paid to come see us in these other bands, like I want you to be like, damn, that was fucking worth it. $30, you know, that was the best $30 I ever spent. So it's like, yeah, I don't really get nervous no more, man. I kind of learned to stay out of my head. I used to meditate
Mm.
actually a lot before we would go on stage. These guys would always call me, "Where are you at?" And I'm like, "I'll be back in 5 minutes," and I'll go find it somewhere and go meditate for 5 minutes, you know, and come back and I'm like, all right, I'm good. But yeah, it's pretty sweet, dude. Now it's more of like I just want to go on stage and make sure everyone's happy, kind of thing.
I absolutely love that, and you know, the fact that you were kind of sharing some of your secrets for how you get prepared is really important for me. Stoicism has always played a big part in kind of the stuff that I do,
Mm-hmm.
making sure that I can bring the best version of myself to whatever it is I'm doing. And so those breathing techniques are really helpful. I think that's awesome that, you know, you kind of have that in your mental playlist to kind of gear up and get things going. So let's talk about California. You guys do a lot of work with Joey Quiones, who I think is one of the best producers on the scene. I would love to know what it was like the first time you met him, and if you could kind of give us a lens into like a recording session with Joey so we can kind of understand the magic that happens.
Well, it's
You
funny
want to go,
because the
Colt?
first time we met, we were heading down for a show, and he was like super open about it. Yeah, come check out the studio. I think my favorite part about Joey though is he doesn't really you know, everybody will put him on this pedestal, and he's an insanely talented dude. But when you're kicking it with him, we were all kind of stiff and a little nervous in the beginning. But then it just seemed like he was one of the homies, and we had a little too much fun. Started cracking drinks and hanging out. But it's really nice. He'll do things where you feel so at home and you won't even notice. Like, yeah, run that back, run that some more, and we're all playing live together because it just feels right that way. We're like a live band, but it's just nice that he'll kind of just have you working when you don't even realize that you're really working, just to get the most natural effect. And I'll never forget getting there our first time and just seeing the equipment. Like, we recorded once, like, in a digital atmosphere of the computer, and being able to see a Tascam board and reel to reel. And I'm a huge funk guy, so he showed me Barrio Joyride, like, on the board and is playing it. And I'm just tripping out, like, who's this? He's like,
wow.
just one of my bands. Like it was nothing, not just one of the 10 groups, like, projects. Like, but yeah, it's pretty dope. It was really cool.
Okay. What's something you've learned from Joey that's kind of changed the way you record, or maybe just how you handle those recording sessions? What's he taught you?
A lot, man. I don't know. Like, I've learned a lot from Joey, and it's not like he sat there and, you know, like teacher, student, like Tom. I just learned a lot from hanging out with the guy and jamming in the studio, and then let alone playing on stage with him. And then I've learned a lot, man. Definitely. I've learned just from jamming with him. The way I write my music is different. The way I sing it. I'm starting to notice that I guess the word would be like, well, for drummers, like staying in the pocket when you can keep a mellow tune. Well, same thing vocally. If you watch our old videos, I'm always doing all these high note runs and doing all this crazy stuff. And now it's kind of like I learned to keep a pretty steady flow, and then, you know, come in crazy here on this part of the song, you know, come in crazy here, mellow it out here, you know, sound pretty here, or belt it out here. So I've learned a lot. I still learn a lot from Joey. It's pretty wild, man. Yeah, I have probably a list of things that I learned that I've learned just from hanging out with the dude. And yeah, that's mainly one thing I have learned a lot, was a lot of vocal thing. He has given me pointers and stuff too. Like, he actually told me, you know, I forgot what we were recording, Colton. I think it was it might have been Believe Me. And he was like, try singing like just normal. And I'm like, singing normal? Like, that's how I sing, man. Like, that's normal for me. And he's like, well, just try,
that's been the best
like,
thing.
all right,
I didn't mean to interrupt you, Johnny. It's just, instead of putting yourself on such a pedestal or taking yourself so seriously, or naysaying yourself, just let it flow. Like, we've all been playing. We're all musicians. Yeah. We've been playing music for over 10 years. Just let it out. Don't psych yourself out. I would say that's the biggest thing, is don't just overpsych yourself or put yourself on a pedestal. Just let what you've been doing for 10 years out. So.
Yeah.
No, that's great advice. Let's dial it back and talk influences. I'd love to know where this sound came from. What kind of music did you hear in the house when you were kids? What were you listening to kind of growing up that kind of led you down this path?
Well, for me, I grew up around my mom, and so growing up in Hawaii, of course, I listened, you know, grew up around a lot of reggae, Hawaii reggae, and Hawaii reggae, the best way I could explain it almost would be like R&B singers behind a reggae beat. They're really pretty voices, really pretty runs. One of my inspirations of music, his name is Ikolu. He has an amazing voice, and I grew up listening to that kind of stuff. Then when we moved to the States, we lived in like pretty rough areas in California. Growing up as a kid, and my mom was with my sister's dad at the time, and he was a pretty tough dude. So, you know, I grew up listening to like Bloodstone and like Brent Wood, you know.
Wow.
Yeah, like Al Green, everything in that area. And then started going from there, listening to doo-wop. I grew up listening to a lot of doo-wop, and actually some buddies of mine in high school, we used to like ditch school and go to my buddy's house and have some beers and get stoned, and we would sing doo-wop, man, in his backyard, and it was really fun. So for me, it was kind of like I grew up with a lot of like, yeah, oldies, doo-wop, and some reggae, you know.
Love that.
I would say,
Yeah.
I mean, my family listened to a lot of music. My mom was like a rocker, but my dad would listen to like Stylistics and then Thin Lizzy. But kind of just going backwards, like listening to Jimi Hendrix and then going, oh, he likes Elmore James. Who's that? Then diving down blues, or he likes Curtis Mayfield and diving deep between everything Curtis Mayfield and in that era. And I used to work in Michigan, a construction job where you'd have to clean out the houses. And I was the guy that was like, let me take all the records and all the guitars or instruments. So finding a lot of records in Detroit,
Wow.
like I think the first 45 I found was Dennis Coffey, Scorpio. And that kind of, ever since then, and I was like, oh, Scorpio, that sounds dope. Like, who's the Dennis Coffey trio? And then that just kind of sent me down a whole rabbit hole of funk and soul and jazz. And yeah, just kind of going backwards, man. Even with I mean, everybody listened to Bob Marley, but I remember getting a Wailers comp, like besides all the Buffalo Soldier stuff and all that. Just listening to the early Wailers and kind of traveling back and watching that they're connecting the dots, that they're just singing a bunch of old soul tunes and the harmonies and everything like that.
That's really cool. I love all that. Man, that job must have been cool. Did you find a lot of records? Because I know Detroit
Yeah,
is known for having
amazing
great
for that, and at the same time very awful, just like in horribly like mold infested homes. And like it was sad too, but like it was hard work. But those days when you found records that weren't completely covered in mold, like maybe you take home a couple Blue Note records or a couple funk records. It was pretty cool, man. I still have half of my collection is from that today.
I love that. Wow. Okay. All right. So we dialed it back and talked about influences. I'd kind of love to know now, also as fans of this indie scene that we love so much, what albums, what music, really excited you this year? What records did you pick up, and who are you looking forward to hearing more from?
You can go ahead, Colt.
I mean, it's pretty crazy because right now everybody's just pumping out music, but I'm a guitarist. I'm an instrumental kind of guy. I love soul and singing too, but I think some of the obvious easy ones are the Sinceres, like Waiting on That LP. But I really like El Domingo. Like, I'm excited to hear more from them. Liam Bailey on Big Crown. Like, Leon Michaels, like, his production is like super dope, like Fat Lovers Rock. That dub sound was pretty interesting. So I would say, I mean, just probably El Domingo and Liam Bailey. I'm more excited to hear stuff from them.
Okay.
What about you, Johnny?
Definitely the Sinceres. Yeah, I'm like every time Joey goes on live, I'm trying to jump in and see what he's playing. But yeah, definitely waiting on some Sincere stuff. It's really weird too with me, like Colton has probably I don't know, over 1,000 records easy. I have like 20. I need to up my record collection, but yeah, I'm still, it's weird, man. I'm stuck in time with music, man. I listen to doo-wop every single day, doo-wop and just rock steady stuff. So it's like I do need to get out like from under this rock, and I do kind of need to look around and like, oh, I want to buy that, and kind of stuff. But yeah, I'm definitely waiting for some Sincere stuff for sure.
Very cool. I'm definitely looking forward to that too. One of the things I wanted to call out, I'm a big fan of the designs that I see on your flyers when you're doing shows. The music video, I believe it's Russell Deppa. He took care of the artwork on that. I just love it. I mean, really phenomenal stuff, especially from the first music video, being able to kind of paint a picture for us all to see, like a mini movie almost. Yeah. And then, with the dub version of Shame on Love, I just love the artwork. What's kind of the inspiration behind that? Gearing up for stuff
myself, like everyone in the band, and my drummer especially, like we're all into film and movies, so we're kind of nerds in that way. And I remember just we all grew up in the 90s when music video budgets were insane and watching like music videos before you go to school. So we wanted like a really dope music video, and Concrete came out and helped us out and we wanted to showcase Vegas. We go to Cali and we love our Cali fam all the time, but we all want to show what Las Vegas has too, and not the typical slot machine casino vibe. And, and with Russ is like one of my best friends from high school. Like, and he's just always been an amazing artist. And I remember me and my drummer planning, like, yo, we really
Yeah.
want an animation. And luckily, Russ busted his ass and made that Shame on Dub animation, which we kind of just let him. I gave him like a rough of like, add this, but just do you. He makes a comic book. Like, check out Baghead. If you follow Bottled Ghosts, that's his page. But then you'll find within then Baghead comic. He's a really talented dude, and yeah, man, we're working on updating our YouTube and kind of transferring some stuff over. But I think you can find it on. He calls it like Horse Water Productions, like the Shame on Dub music video.
Okay, I'll check that out for sure. You know, you talked about showing Vegas. One of the cooler things that I saw from you guys, I think it might have been one of the first virtual shows. It looked like you like traveled back in time and you were in this old bar, you know. And I don't know if there was an audience or not, but that looked really cool. And then I've seen you guys in the car together on road trips. Talk to me about, you know, performing like that. What goes into prepping for a set? And you know, give me a story from the road. What's something about the Escapers that only you
I
guys
don't
know?
know, like how much we can say on here. No. You know what the funnest thing about, we're still
Yeah.
like fresh. I mean, the road is going to California and then Hawaii. That was about the furthest that we've gone so far. We're open, hopefully 2022, start getting out of the
Okay.
country and hitting other places in the States. But it's always just you hear all these horror stories of people touring and arguing and all these like, you know, you got to earn your stripes. And I don't know how. We've been pretty lucky that we're renting like nice SUVs from Toro, and it's just like I lose my voice from laughing with these guys the whole ride. Whether we're all like smashed into a hotel room, cracking up laughing, driving. I'm trying to think of a good story from the road. Probably when we were on the way to go record with Joey. I think it was for Shame on Love, and our tire popped, and of course, our bass player Victor is
Oh,
like really hilarious. Like, shout out
yeah.
to Rocksteady Vic on here if he's watching. But there's like, I don't even know what it was. Right where we broke down, we're by a rest stop that
It
had
was a
like
billboard.
something for tires to get your tires fixed. He's like, see that, man? They fucking set this up, man. Somebody put some shit down on the ground and like they set us up to pop our tires so they can come fix it. Just like dumb shit. It's always the dumb shit that's the
It was just
funniest.
ridiculous.
I don't have any crazy road stories yet other than us just
Well,
laughing. Like,
We definitely
that's a
have
good
a
thing.
lot of fun for sure. One thing I like because at this point in our like I don't know if you would want to call it music career or musical path, it is definitely like a job now, you know, and like with
Okay.
everyone working and we all have kids, like we try to link up. I wish we could link up more, but it's like when we go on the road, it's definitely like a lot. We'll go to California for just a weekend. It'll feel like a vacation, man. Like, we have a blast. Sometimes we just have too much fun. But it's a lot of fun, man. It's definitely a lot of fun, especially with these guys. I think once, one crazy, not crazy story, was funny though. We went to, I forgot what beach we went to. We went to a beach, and we ended up
we had to go
staying
back
there
home.
like all
Like,
day. Yeah, we had to go back home that day, and we stayed all day. And we were like smoking on the sand, and then I was in the water, like we were just like hitting waves, and man, I missed the beach. So I was literally in the water the entire time we were there for hours. And I remember like these guys were watching me. I like to go pretty far out, so I was pretty far out there, and I see them like kind of looking, like pointing and looking and laughing, and I like turn around and there's just like this wild swell of waves, and I'm like, ah, like shit, here he goes. So I get like hit by this big wave, and I'm down, and then I get up, and one of them got it on video, and I'm trying to run back, and there's just this big wave, and it just takes me underwater for like a solid minute. Just bam, and then you just go, oh shit, like is he dead? And pop up, and I'm like,
Wow.
I
I'm
think
out.
another thing we could
It's time
shout
to
out
get
is
out of the
or
water.
another group is Hello Stranger. Like some of the funnest shows. They brought us to Hawaii. I mean, we
Oh,
played
that was
Palm
fun.
Springs, and I mean Johnny being able to go back
Absolutely.
to like
Shout out
home,
to
like that was
strangers.
pretty huge. We had, I mean, there was
Yeah,
still some regulations.
it was
Yeah,
amazing.
shout out to Angela and
They're
Hello
amazing
Stranger team.
people.
Like I'm sure they got a bunch of.
Yeah,
Shout out to Hello Stranger. Yeah, they're
they're
dope.
amazing.
So I've seen some cool merch. You know, there's 45s. I saw a cool adapter. What's next for the Escapers? You know, when can we expect new music? I know you have a show coming up, I think, in November.
November
What can we
20th,
expect
the
next
Soul
from y'all?
Steppers Ball here in Las Vegas. We're playing with the Sinceres. You know, every day we're trying to just get money together to get more merch, and our merch fund, we can't thank everybody enough for supporting, because that merch money goes to pressing our records. And right now we're trying to do it independently. We're trying to put out, we worked out Am I a Fool? It's been about a year process. We recorded it last year. Me and Johnny just came back from finishing it up. And as you guys all know, everybody's been patient, but the record plants are just packed. So we're really pushing to get Am I a Fool out. We have another reggae tune we just finished up. We have Believe Me, like we got to get that in the plant. But
we have a handful, which is kind of cool. It sucks that the plants are backed up, but we have like a handful of jams. And I'm constantly writing, actually. I'm probably going to write some more.
I think the goal right now is like this summer, we hope for the summer, and
So
maybe this time around next year, we'll have a few more 45s released, and we got to get everybody that LP. Like, you know, we still only got 2 45s out. We have 2 more coming, and then I think it's time for the LP territory. And then there's hopefully, you know, the dream of having an Escapers dub LP, and, you know, going from all that too. So
I love that. That's really exciting stuff. I mean, most of the time, you know, we're seeing 45. So when a group or a musician says LP, you know, I just think of that much more music to enjoy. So we'll definitely look forward to that. Tell me about this adapter, though. I saw
you know what,
one
we're
video
kind
of
of
an
like
adapter. I need more info.
we got to tighten up on having an online presence for sales, but we kind of try to we always try to bring some sort of surprise to the live show. So, you know, the 45 adapter, we've been printing these things out, and we'll send you one. We'll send you a little care package. It's also limited. Like we do as much as we can afford, and then it sells out. But we'll have some 45 adapters at the Soul Steppers Ball. And man, we've been talking about doing the show, like the Soul Steppers Ball. It's Lowrider Super Show weekend here in Las Vegas. And we want it to truly to be, we're hoping there'll be Soul Steppers Ball 10, Soul Steppers Ball 12. Like, we really want to do a big show in a combination of reggae, soul, kind of like what we come from and what we're into, and just throw a fat party in Las Vegas, and hopefully we'll take it to Europe one day and everywhere around the world, you know?
You guys will get there. I know that. That concludes the Fireside Chat. We'll now transition to the lightning round. The lightning round is 10 questions. You want to answer as quick as you can. We'll start with Johnny first, and then we'll move to Colt. First one, colored vinyl or OG black?
I'd go with the OG black.
Okay. All right. 45 or LP?
I think I'm indifferent. It depends 45. On the song.
Yeah.
Okay. Something you listen to that we wouldn't expect?
I actually listen to metal.
Okay.
I just went with my. I just
gotta balance it out.
Erica Badu on Sunday, so that was really dope. It's pretty dope.
How good
She's
was
doing
that?
The spaced out Badu-tron thing. I see a lot of funkadelic like references that she's doing, so it was pretty cool, man. It's dope.
All right. Favorite eatery in Las Vegas?
Johnny,
where
you already know.
Where are the Escapers going to get a bite to eat?
What?
Ross J's. That's me.
Ross J's is dope.
L&L?
I'm sitting here shitting on your favorite spot. Baja Mar. Maybe it's Kevin. We're always hitting up Baja Mar fish tacos in downtown Las Vegas. That's the spot.
Yeah.
And I probably just gave up the dopest spot. I probably should have kept it quiet.
All right.
Check it out.
I love that. I won't tell anybody. So you walk into a record store. What's the first section you're going to?
I always seem to drift towards like jazz, man.
I like going to the little dollar section underneath the bins where you got to dig for some 45s, and you'll find like maybe some VG dope record. You can only hope you'll find some scuffed up sick funk 45.
See, I always start by talking to the person behind the counter, and I ask them what's behind the counter, if there's any $100
See, records. I like to keep it cheap. I like finding good records for cheap.
Leave it
I
like,
love when it happens. It's just as
Yeah.
far in between, so I like to cut to the chase, you know? Let's see here. Recommend a 45 and an LP we should go check out.
oh, that's a rough
I'll
one.
say LP, the Incantado versions that Liam Bailey. It's like they kind of did like a. It's weird.
Okay,
It's like a
yeah.
dub record, but it also has some modern stuff too. But I think that was Lee Scrap. Yeah, so that
I love that
45. Like, does it have to be something new, modern, or anything, or?
It could be something you're listening to now that you just picked up, that kind of thing.
Jack Moss and I think Do You Believe It? A good buddy of mine, my old roommate, huge record collector, record dealer, showed me that, and it's just like a cutthroat soul tune.
Okay.
I would have to say for 45, only because I have it up here. If you guys don't know the Skyliners, you have to check them out. Like that's the reason I wanted to sing was Jimmy Beaumont and the Skyliners. I can't even name because all of them are dope. That would be my 45 recommendation for sure.
Okay. Favorite thing to do when you're not making
we
music?
don't do it as much, but we used to drive up on the mountains here. I mean, something about the desert at night in Vegas. Like, I moved here from Michigan 6 years ago, and I don't know what it is, but there's that light desert breeze at night, and we're all screwing around, lighting fireworks, drinking beers, looking at the stars, and I miss that. We got to do that again. We haven't done it in a while. So camping and hitting up the desert. Come on.
I'm not again. That's a long story, but I was in the bed of the truck and there's a big ass dip, and me and Kevin and David were back there, and John went down this dip.
Oh no!
And jumped up, and we all was in the air. Kevin landed on the tailgate, broke his back. I flew up, hit my head. We were laughing, and then once we were in the air, it was silent. We were just oh fuck, I'm done.
That's wild.
Oh, that was wild.
Jeez.
My I started making books. That's what I've been doing. It's I quit drinking, so to really take up time and stay out of my head, I make these books.
Here's a plug.
It's not really anything crazy.
Find your Johnny Ruiz book,
it's like a big old thing. But it's so I'm not nowhere near done with it. I got to put them all together, but they're coffee stain pages, man, and it's really therapeutic. So it's I kind of dye the pages, and I'm making them for a bunch of artists and stuff. I won't say who because I'm just gonna send them to them and a few people. But I'm making one. This is for someone. I got to get leather and do that. And I have some that I made to write my lyrics because I'm tired of buying books. I spend $20 on these books, and we go out to who knows where, and I leave them there, So I'm I'm just start making my own books. But that's what I do.
I think that is really, really cool, and thank you so much for sharing that with us. You could tell just by looking at the attention to detail. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's fun, man.
And kudos to you for finding a replacement, man. I think that's great. All right. If you were a superhero, what would your superhero power be and why?
Time travel.
Colton.
And freeze time. Sometimes I feel like I need freeze time. There's not enough time in the freaking day.
Yeah, that's the truth.
Damn, I was gonna say time travel. Well, if I can't do time travel, shit, that's tough. Because I was gonna say time travel so I could go jam with Jimmy Beaumont and the Skyliners.
Yeah.
Probably just be able to fly, man, or breathe in space. Because I would just go, go far, just go as far as I can go, and not come back.
I love that. I love that. All right, if you had a theme song, what would it be and why?
Ooh. A theme song? Does it have to be for the superhero or just a theme song?
Just a Johnny Ruiz theme song. When you get in the car, what music comes on first?
Oh man, this
is cliche, but paid in full. Eric B. and Rakim. I was trying to figure out how to fucking hustle and make some bread.
Yeah, love that.
Keep some money.
Right. Yes. Man, it's crazy. Because I'm not anymore, but I would always be a sad dude. I would always play while I'm driving. Would be Since I Don't Have You by the Skyliners. That was like every breakup or fight with some ex-girlfriend or something like that. That was my jam. So that would probably be my theme song. Probably
I
not
love that.
back then. It for sure was.
No, that's fantastic. That concludes the fireside chat and the lightning round. I want to thank you guys so much for coming through. You know, this is a full circle thing for me to be able to talk to you like this. You know, as a fan, I'm just so proud of everything that you've done, the music that you've put out. You know, you've made a lot of people happy. You've lifted our spirits with that, and we can't wait to see more from you. You know, if there's ever anything I can do for you, all you have to do is send me a message, and I got your back 100. Is there anything you'd like to say before we dip to the folks watching?
Yeah, everyone that's watching for sure. I just want to like thank you guys for everything, man. Seriously, thanks for the support, all the people that I talk to on my spare time. Thank you. Like I've had a lot of encouraging words lately from all of you guys that have really, you know, picked me up when I was really low and stuff. So thank everyone for everything. Like when I say I love you guys, I
The
truly do.
patience, you know,
Truly do
we're
love you
trying to
guys. I
push
really
out these
appreciate it.
45s this year. Believe me, and Am I a Fool? Everybody's huge support on the merch, man, because everybody that buys a t-shirt or a pin or a sticker, that goes to us putting out our own record. So thank you, everybody, for that. And, you know, even pulling us through the pandemic, you know, we just kept writing music through the pandemic, but to see everybody want to buy our music, that was a great feeling. So thank you guys for, during tough times, spending your hard-earned cash on coming to our shows and purchasing our records and our merch.
Very cool. And just in case there's anybody who's watching, this is the first time they're seeing you, where can they find you on social media? Where can they stream your music?
Right
Where can they
now,
buy the merch?
the Escapers 702 is our Instagram. We're on Spotify and all streaming platforms. We only have a few tunes right now, but merch, we're working on an online store that'll come soon. But you just got to catch us at shows, man. We're always slipping in some surprise, something new every show that you've never seen. So you're not just like, oh, that's the same shirt. Or so November 20th, Soul Steppers Ball with our brothers and sisters, the Sinceres. We'll have some surprises for you. We always try to come correct with something you've never seen before live as far as musically. And maybe we'll step it up and try and stream that or something so people can see it too. Or just come out to Vegas.
That would be really cool.
Yeah, thank you, man.
Guys, thank you so much. One of these days, I love Vegas. I get in trouble
man.
in Vegas, though, but one of these days I'll be out there. Guys, thank you so much. I hope you have a fantastic night. I'll send you the link to stream this afterwards, and I'll actually give I rip these so I can put them on any
thanks,
social media site.
Thanks for everything you do, man. You bring in sweet interviews, man.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys. Have a great night.
Later, brother. Much love, man.
Take care. I want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight. That was the Escapers. Awesome fireside chat. Appreciate everybody staying the whole 42 minutes. Waxvillain, Seattle, Washington. I'm out. Take care.